Hi there, this is Dr. Jessica Guerrero. I'm your instructor for your anatomy course. And I just wanted to kind of walk you through our course shelf so that there's not a requirement for us to meet at the exact same time. And if you can't make it, then you miss out. So this is just a brief recording walking you through how our course is laid out and what you can kind of expect. Over here within Blackboard, the first tab is announcements. Anytime I make an announcement, I send it to your email as well. And I'll discuss that in just a moment. So if you don't get an email from me and you're wondering if I've sent anything, you can always check announcements because it'll be in there. Anytime there are test passwords or because you have lecture and lab exams, those will always be put in announcements and also instructions on how to access those. All right. You can read through the announcements at your leisure. The calendar, I feel like, is probably one of the more important tools. For this class, I believe yours is this light color. So all of my classes show up together. So I apologize for that, but yours will as well. And for this class, I believe it is this lighter color. So the 8th is your first due dates. All right. But anyways, you can get on there and it will get you to whatever is due. You can click on that and make sure that you get everything done in a timely manner. All right. Learning materials. If you are part of Include Ed, then you should have gotten a textbook and then an access code for the Mastering A&P. And if not, then you just have to get it separately. The anatomy book can be any anatomy book because anatomy really doesn't change over time. But the access code for Mastering A&P is specific to this course. And I'll speak on that in just a moment. The syllabus for our course is here. The syllabus can be used for the syllabus quiz. You can have it open and be reflecting on it in order to make the highest grade on your syllabus quiz. Your honor code agreement, etiquette agreements, and so on are also found in the syllabus. In the event that you have any type of complaints, I did put the Student Service Center, student rights and civil rights contact information. So if you're not comfortable speaking with me, this is exactly who you can reach out to. Their number and email address is here at the bottom. All right, next tab is Start Here. And I've had that open for a couple of days. And some of you have already kind of walked through this. But the very first thing I want to make sure you understand is that this anatomy class is completely online, both lecture and lab, which since COVID, and this is an accelerated summer session, it should be okay. And it usually is accepted into most programs. However, to be super safe, and if you read the syllabus and you read through this course, you know you're going to apply for a nursing program or a dental hygiene program, an OT program. Contact that program, speak to an advisor, and make sure the course will transfer, because the last thing you want to do is hang out with me for a few weeks and then it not matter for your future goals. Okay. But like I said, most of the time it transfers, but do not take my word for it. Always check on your own. All right. As far as your email address, please make sure that your eConnect is set up with whatever email address that you check. You have the ability to change that. So if you're like, well, I don't get your emails, you're like, I can't change your email address for you. So you do need to go take care of that on your own. For the course certification, again, many of you have already done this, but you should be sending me an email, and it should include the following information: your first and last name, your course and section number, and your major and future career path. Making sure that every email you send me has your course and section number, your first and last name as you are registered in the class. If you're married or you've gone through a name change and it's not showing in Blackboard, please don't send it to me, because it gets really confusing trying to update grades. And then sometimes you're like, I've emailed you 6 times. And I'm like, I don't have a student with this name. And so I don't want to be disrespectful. The honor code agreement, as I mentioned, as well as the etiquette agreements, are also in the syllabus. You just read over it, but ultimately making sure that you know that you're going to be held for academic integrity. Any type of violation like cheating, plagiarism, anything along those lines, I will move forward with. I'll contact you, of course, as initially to let you know. I won't be anything like surprised. Email and discussion board, recognizing the fact that we are in an academic and a professional environment. You shouldn't be calling people out, belittling people, disrespecting people, each other. If somebody brings up a controversial topic in a discussion board, It's not your position within an academic environment to put them in their place based on your opinions. So please don't engage in that. Our discussion boards tend to be pretty fun, if a discussion board can be fun. And I just like to make sure that everyone knows that it's a safe environment for communication. I've already mentioned the syllabus quiz, but once again, you can take that. You can take it as many times as you want. It does record the highest score. And you can use the syllabus while you're taking the quiz. All right. This course is divided into 4 modules. So I will walk you through the first module because that's the one you have access to right now. And then each of the following modules play along with that. So when you get into module 1, it says module 1 YouTube lecture links. Initially in the front is the entire YouTube playlist for Anatomy 2401. But if you want the individual lectures where you can just click on them, they're loaded in here. Okay, so you can access them either way, through the playlist or within that module lecture link. Below that are the PowerPoints that correspond with those lectures that I use while I'm teaching them. So you can print them and you don't have to write everything down, or you can save them to your computer and you can put the small notes that I mentioned as I'm going through the lecture. You can make those notes and jot them off to the side. Module, the discussion boards. So the discussion boards are a unique situation, and I find that they are far more engaging than any other discussion board. Like I said, there's not a lot to get excited about with discussion boards, but it is a necessity for attendance in an online course. You listen to the module 1 lectures, so all of them, and you find something new that you didn't know before, and you're just going to report out on it. So your post should include these different criteria, and I'm going to let you read over that. But the one thing that I do want to make sure that you are aware of is that it must be an APA format, which means it must include in-text citations and a reference at the end. You should be referencing the lecture video as well as whatever else you researched. And if you need help with that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to the librarian for that. Also, in order to earn in full points for your initial post, it does have to be double spaced, because that corresponds with APA format. So just understand that there are rubrics attached to everything so that you're not confused as to why points are being taken off. But those are the 2 areas where people are constantly like, hey, wait, I don't understand why. You do have to respond to 2 of your peers, and there are different criteria for each of those responses. One can be conversational, which is just kind of you, hey, that's a really interesting post. Again, it cannot be like, hey, thanks for sharing, and that's it. It's not an academic or professional way to communicate within a class. But hey, my nephew also broke their bone, and this was what they went through. So it's like you're just kind of connecting on that level. The second peer response needs to be something that you extend in an academic manner. So I was really interested in whatever post you made, and I started researching this, and this is what I came up with. And you kind of add a little bit to it. You make sure you cite that as well. You do need to be active in the discussion forum 3 separate dates. So for example, this first discussion board opens up on June 8th, or the first post, the initial post is due on June 8th. The final posts are due by June 12th. So you can post on June 8th, respond to 1 peer on June 9th, and another peer on June 10th, and you've technically met all that criteria. But you cannot do all your posts in one single day and then check it off your list. Part of the rubric does talk about the fact that the posts have to be done on separate dates. So just make sure on that one. Okay, chapter review. Chapter reviews are little quizzes. Okay, well, first of all, I put the lecture and lab exam reviews there for you to have access to. It's not going to let me click on that. Anyways, these are little quizzes that you can take as many times as you want, and the highest score is recorded to review the content. The highest score for each one is 10. And I believe there are, I want to say there's 9 or 10 in total. So that's an extra 90 to 100 points, which replaces an entire test. So there is no extra credit, but these chapter reviews are pretty beneficial. So just so that you know that, and you can take them as many times as you want. Underneath the chapter review are the module, are the exams. And the exams are only going to be present to you whenever the exam is open. So there's a 48-hour window and you have both lecture and lab within that time. You don't have to take them back to back. You can take one on day 1 and the other on day 2. You can take them both back to back. You can take them backwards, forwards. I don't care, as long as they're done by the date that they are due. And here's actually where I uploaded the review for each. Once you click on it, it'll download, but it'll just tell you the content that you need to look over. The lab exam is entirely diagrams. The lecture exam is entirely questions. There are multiple choice and fill in the blank. So it does take a while for those to be completely graded because I go back. I try not to count off for spelling, just to be perfectly honest with you. But if the answer is black and you write purple, you didn't misspell that. Okay, so the answer is wrong. But I do try to go back and look for that. And you don't, like if it's asking just for an individual letter, like A, B, C, or D, you can put A and you don't have to put a period after or anything like that. You can put it in capital or lowercase and it'll still score it. Same if you're putting a word out, you can just type the word out like skeleton and just leave it like that. No fancy punctuation or so on and so forth. Okay. Oh, mastering A and P. Oh, I'm glad I looked down here. So on the rest of these modules, they're grayed out for you, so you don't see them, and I open them. When you start the exams for the first module, the second module will open, so that you're not overwhelmed all at one time. When you go to mastering A and P, which I will make that actually a live link now. It will ask you to get started, and mine is going to look different from yours, but you'll click on it. And I've already got a subscription, so it's going to take me directly to mine. Let me make sure you're looking at what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, perfect. Okay. If you don't have a mastering A and P access code, it does give you, I believe, a 7-day trial so that you can go ahead and get started and just purchase it within the 7 days, but you do have to access it through our course. You cannot go outside of our course and try to register because it will not connect your work with the grade book. So please make sure you access it and join our course through Blackboard or eCampus, whatever you decide to call it. Anyways, all the assignments will pop up. These assignments are also on your course calendar as well. Okay. And once you get it signed up, you'll see it'll show up a lot cleaner for you, right? This is just a lot on my end. I really can't think of anything else. There is an ebook that is fantastic. And you can click on it and it has the chapters. If you decide to buy the Pearson Mastering A and P with the ebook, then it'll go ahead and embed it into your course with you. All right, but otherwise, I truly can't think of anything else, but please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email with any questions. And I do look forward to working with you, and thank you for signing up for this course. And that's it.